Welcome back, everyone. It's Uncle Destiny. So this is Uncle Destiny's workshop where I can give you helpful hints and tips to work with your spiritual work. Today we're going to deal with a bit of the power of salt and cleansing. Now, especially in today's day and age where we have more people having allergies and sensitivities to fragrances, it becomes difficult to be able to come up with using, say, cedar or sage without having an allergic reaction, let alone some of the more perfumey things like Florida water and Kagra water, which is another item used in certain circles as a cleanser for ritual space as well as cleanser for items. So what we're going to do is a very simple item using kosher sea salt and lemons. So what you're going to begin with is salt. Now this is sea salt, it's particularly coarse, and it's usually very good and also for cooking. Now typically what you can do, depending on if you've got an item, say like a piece of jewelry, or something that you're not sure about where the energy is with it, whether it's tuned to you, may have negative, especially if it came from someone whose energy you're not certain about, you can place it in the salts to deactivate the energy. Now depending on the object and how much energy that might have been absorbed, you can leave it in there for a few hours, to a few days, to a few weeks, and sometimes even months. But in today's purpose, we're going to end up using it here to create the base for a cleanser to help remove the negative energy and bring in more positive spirits for those when you're having a ritual. So, depending on how many people or how many the size of the object you're working with will determine on how much salt you're going to use. This here is probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons, but I'm only going to use a small portion of it. Now, if you have something like a mortar and pestle, that's a good idea to use it, to put it in. Otherwise, ordinary bowl will work so that you can use for mixing purposes. The next item we're going to use is a lemon, which you can get at any tree or at your local store. Now what's key here is that we're going to be using the lemon juice and ideally also the lemon rind. So if you have a zester with it, or if you say like a peeler, you want to go over the outside of the lemon just a bit to break into the skin. The skin has certain oils in it that are very different from the lemon juice and that carries that energy in. So you want to get a little of the rind in there, but otherwise just get the lemon juice in itself. Once that's in there, go ahead and mix up the salt and the lemon juice. Depending on the amount of salt you have, you may end up with more of a paste or slurry. That will be useful for any of those items that you're trying to clean that have lots of nooks and crannies in it. Otherwise, your next item is going to be water. Now, if you can get your hands on holy water, all the better. Otherwise, you can use ordinary tap water, but my recommendation is that you want to pray over it first and ask for the highest possible good and energy, and the idea also for cleansing. Now, just add that in small amounts. Now, depending on how much water you add or how much you need, you may end up with more of a paste in that slurry. So you can use that to put the items in, or, if need be, use that to sprinkle onto your guests as they're coming into the circle. Otherwise, you can increase the amount of water or increase the amount of lemon juice until you've got just pretty much a nice liquid. At that point, you can then, again, sprinkle that onto your guests coming in as well as onto areas of your home when you want to change the energy. Now, lemons have a property to them, spiritual, both also physical, in being related to the flow of ions. They actually apparently have a negative ion, which attracts the positive negative energy to it, so that it can be carried out. I know that gets all complicated, and don't worry about the physics. But you can sprinkle that around your home, and you can sprinkle that on your guests, especially those that have more issues with fragrances. So it's a nice little simple tip that you can use to prep your spaces and bring in a more positive energy to your rituals. So this has been Uncle Destiny and Uncle Destiny's workshop. And remember, little salt goes a long way.